Golden Internet, MegaMogwai here, and I got another Legends of Runeterra video for you guys today. And today we are going to showcase the Czechia Fearsome, aka potentially the best deck in the meta that nobody knew about until about a week ago, because the Czechian team in the European Masters took ELISE and Kalista and put them together, which is nothing new, and designed an Allegiance Fearsome list, splashing, of course, Pale Cascade, which is perhaps the most broken card in the game right now, and a couple of copies of the Harrowing. The inclusion of the Harrowing to this archetype is really what pushed it over the edge. We saw Czechia get amazing wins with this build after the Undying list, which is the one that they would lead off with to capitalize on control matchups that they were expecting. They would drop this mid-range deck that seems like it would go down to control, but ultimately, because of the Harrowing, this deck never stops coming at you. They always have really scary attacks going on, pun intended, as they are combining a bunch of misrate synergy with fearsome mechanics and units like Frenzied Skitter, which allow you to nullify your opponent's board as blockers and just keep pushing in damage. Pale Cascade allows you to navigate around removal, but at the same time pushing in more damage, and the same can be said about Mark of the Owls, while also cycling through your deck. And then on top of that, we have a full set of Glimpse Beyond and Stalking Shadows. So this deck also very rarely runs out of gas because it has just enough card draw to keep going, and ultimately you do want your board to be picked off as by turn, as early as turn 6 really. You can go for a Harrowing, bring back your board again. When you resurrect a Wraithcaller, you will be summoning a Miswraith, and that Miswraith will not be ephemeral like the rest of your units, which is important to know, because with this deck and with Wraithcallers, the Harrowing actually allows you to build up a board again. If you don't kill your opponent, you still have some remains from that, which is pretty crazy actually, considering how honestly how broken the card is at this stage alone, because this card used to be 10 mana, right? And then your boy Ruben buffed it, which is obviously in hindsight we can talk about this better, right? But initially I was also excited to see the Harrowing buffed because it didn't really see much play at all, right? The problem with this card is always the same though, is that it doesn't really, because people say, well, this is a great Hecarim enabler, but the thing is, if the Harrowing is actually competitive and viable, it doesn't end up in too many Hecarim decks. Actually, it ends up in most Hecarim decks, but there's not that many Hecarim decks running around compared to like any other deck that can benefit from a card that says, a 9 mana, refill your board with everything that you played up until that point, right? So we've seen this card being abused with Darius in the past, before the nerfs to that archetype. And we're seeing it making a resurgence again, not only here, but also in the Anivia control that's everywhere in the ladder as well, right? I think it's time to, reach the conclusion that yes, the Harrowing is broken. It should be brought back to 10 health, 10 mana. And Pale Cascade, needs to be looked at. I don't buy especially after Make It Rain was nerfed from Bilgewater, I just don't buy that excuse that every region needs a card that is above the power level, right? Like Pale Cascade is just ridiculous and should not be a thing in its current form, in my opinion. And I think a lot of people agree with me on that. Now, this deck tech turned into a little bit of like me ranting about specific cards, but the thing is, this is considered to be one of the best, if not the best deck in the meta, right? Like this deck, nobody knew about it really. Like nobody knew Fearsomes were that good, but Czechia innovated and really, let everybody else know just how powerful it is. That's why Czechia is one of my favorite teams to win the European Masters, because I think they deserve it. I think they prepped and they just did everything better than everybody else, and there's no doubt in my mind about that. So definitely one of the favorites in my opinion to win, and I think if they won, it would be nice, though I am also rooting for Spain. And they're faced off in the first round. God damn it. Anyways, I'm going on random tangents here because some of you are not even watching the European Masters and probably don't even care about these things. But yeah, basically a really good deck that curves out. Tries to set up as many Miswraiths as possible to get them, really high up in attack. And then Harrowing to stop down dragged out control matchups. And that's pretty much the nature of the list. Nothing else new under the sun in that regard. But really, really powerful as of now. So if you're a fan of Shadow Owls and Fearsome tactics in general, then this is the deck for you, 100%. So hopefully you enjoy. And I got some pretty good gameplay for you guys today that I recorded in a live session. So hopefully you enjoy that too. And that's pretty much it. I'm gonna stop talking. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for daily Legends of Runeterra content. Subscribe, free. It is free. English. And free is good. And I'll see you guys around. Alright, here we go. Thunder Uncle. I've known this name is. Yeah, this guy's in the European Masters. I'm not sure who, like which team he belonged to. But they're playing Draven Ezreal, aka, in my opinion, the most overrated deck in the meta. So let's try to prove why that is the case. We're gonna keep the Wraithcaller. I'm gonna drop 1 Glimpse Beyond and 1 Stygian Onlooker. Yeah. As I search for a better curve here. Stygian Onlooker is not a bad card to have per se, but it is vulnerable to Static Shock, which is definitely a card that this deck likes to play. I'm gonna lead off with the Arachnoid Horror, actually, not with the ELISE, because ELISE plays really well into a Thermogenic Beam here, while Arachnoid Horror does not make them feel that great about a Thermo Beam, because we will be getting card advantage. Zonite Urchin, just to cycle a House Spider, which is surprising.
I thought you'd never ask.
Alright. There's your boy. If they want to pass, I'm completely fine with this. Completely fine. I'm gonna preserve these Stygian Onlookers for the late game. Alright, so dropping them down to 14.
It's not bragging if you could back it up.
We pass here because they definitely have to go for the Mystic Shot this time around. We're gonna let them take that. I could have developed Callista first, but I feel like they would have just targeted her if I did that. Well, I could be wrong about that.
I know what lurks in the shadows.
Now they're tapped out, we do go for the Glimpse Beyond because we know that we don't have to worry about them following that up with something else. I'm gonna play the Mistwraith here. They have 6 mana. The moment they go under 4 mana,
The sun prop got me good.
Charge!
they can't Static Shock anymore, so I'm gonna develop my Onlookers here, and I'm gonna go for a big hit. This 1-drop is kind of crazy.
We could use a bite.
I'm just going all in with an attack. This will serve to pump my harrowing anyways, and the more damage output I get. Plus, like, these two blocking into anything that's not a Stygian Onlooker is amazing for me. Like, me getting all this damage there is super, super big. That's huge. That's huge because this deck has no health gain. In fact, this deck has, like, a lot of things. English. This deck lacks a lot of shit. And one of those things is health gain. We just block here. We got him low enough that we can just, like, Doom Beast him down.
That's gotta hurt.
Yeah, honestly, just as easy as I thought this matchup would be. I don't mean to sound off cocky, it's just like... this is not a good deck. I don't believe it's a good deck. Alright, let's get this. Let's pass.
Firing.
We're gonna develop some Doom Beasts here. Now that they're tapped out again, we go for the Glimpse Beyond. We can't Harrowing now, even if we do draw it. But we have a bunch of Fearsome units here. They're all 2 mana. And they got a bunch of axes, though. But we can force some interesting trades here. It's ephemeral, but they have to block it, so I may as well play this. We play these and we attack like this. We force the axes out of him.
This is gonna hurt for you.
Really big.
Hey, buddy, what you doing?
Calling Strike pretty much useless at this point.
One shot.
It's a good draw for us. We're not gonna give him the free target with Mystic Shot. What you gonna do, Uncle? Only revenge. We keep spreading out with all of our Fearsomes. They have their axes, but that's the only thing allowing them to block here. I'm gonna attack like this. With both Pale Cascade and Mark of the Isles, we will be able to basically overcome anything. They need axes to block into one of our Fearsome units, so they can get one of the blockers out of the way that way. But if they were to like double axe for double block, that means that this card is their last play. And as long as we're able to beat it with this, yeah. There's a block there. Surprised they go for that. I mean, yeah, this is easier to kill. Ravenous Flock, so we can't dodge that, but we can indeed dodge that with the most busted combat trick in the game. Pale Cascade. And call that a game, baby. Honorable Seppuku. Honorable Seppuku.
Firing.
Very honorable. Got him. Again, I want to repeat this. I don't think Ezreal Draven is a bad deck, but I've been hearing like so many like high-level players just talk about it as if it's like the next second coming of Jesus Christ or something, and it's not. It's got a lot of weaknesses. That region combination with that sort of archetype will always have big holes in their game, and it's definitely a deck that you can capitalize on if you're seeing it a lot on the ladder, because I am running into it a lot myself, so at least we get that going on for it. So yeah, let's go round 2. Dragon PL playing Garen with Ionia. That brings me back to like 4 months ago, where Demacia with Deny, like Bannerman, was the best deck. Simpler times. I'm gonna go ahead and keep ELISE. I'm gonna drop the Doom Beast here, I believe. It could be useful, but I'm gonna keep ELISE and Stalking Shadows, I believe. I'm gonna drop that too. Having a source of card draw here is really neat. I could play Stygian Onlooker, but I'd rather preserve it for later. Unless we see something like a Dragon Guard Lieutenant.
I know what lurks in the shadow.
This ELISE is pretty safe here. I like the idea of just attacking with ELISE first. Even though we miss out on an attack with Callista, but I like it.
You won't suffer long.
Because I can potentially work for a level up here from ELISE.
Discipline and
Steel. I'm gonna play Callista. Only revenge. Interesting. I'm gonna go for the Stalking Shadows, fill up my hand, and pass there. By going for Stalking Shadows earlier, I did prevent the possibility of leveling up ELISE here, but I think that's ultimately fine. There's no target there. That's actually really big. I'm gonna play the Mistwraith. Because if they want to trade one of their 2/1s into it, that's completely fine. I want to get this value going. Like, even though I carry over 3 spell mana, yeah, this is pretty great. I gotta think here for a second, because I gotta think if it's worth it to set up an ELISE level up. We need to like be very threatening this turn. Wasn't expecting reinforcements there.
Ready to do my part.
Double Skitter is what we need to set ourselves up here.
glory unrelenting.
I'm gonna try to survive with Callista here. Nice. Pay the price! Yeah, going for the level up with Callista here is really, really strong. I'm gonna pass for now, though. I'm gonna keep my mana open, because they could have something like a Relentless Pursuit. Alright. Man, that does still allow them to preserve a few blockers there.
Now you've gone and upset it.
There's the harrowing. And now we drop the second one. They still get to preserve 2 of these blockers because of the Betterment, but everything else cannot block anymore. Every single one of my units has Fearsome.
Is a weapon. There is yet to do.
I will hold the line. Don't back down. Attack formation.
We do want this to die. We're gonna go harrowing. If they have a deny, they have a deny. Like, yeah. All right, that's a little bit cocky, but okay, yeah. Never mind. Never mind. That's not cocky at all. GG. We got denied into Angry Woman. Well, that's actually a pretty good counter. Like that's a solid.
Your queen.
It's a solid deck. Like I wasn't able to outpower it with my Fearsomes because of the Bannerman plays. I didn't really find openings, and I never. I did everything I could, but that's the kind of like mid-range deck that is not really in the meta right now. But with Deny, being able to stop the harrowing, that's like the best version of Demacia right now against this deck. I feel definitely felt like that. So. Yeah, gotta watch out for random people playing Deny, but nonetheless, pretty niche sort of matchup though. So let's go for another one. All right, here's the go hard but Callista style, which I very much appreciate. I'm a big fan of that one. Okay, so I like the Mistwraith, so turn to Mistwraith. Stalking Shadows could be pretty neat. I'm gonna keep this entire hand, man. I'm only in the way Risen missed the last game, but I feel like it's such a powerful card when played right that I want to try this match, like keeping it in hand and see how that goes. I was gonna be looking. Okay, no Butcher. I mean, you wouldn't expect Butcher most of the time there. But like Croaker, for example, I do want to play double Mistwraith, I think. Over ELISE, because the possibility of a Croaker onto this is really high.
I don't change fate, but I can see it.
We get some nice damage on him.
Deal me in. Hold it, partner.
We shall not rest until all betrayers end.
I need a rubber chick.
No go hard yet. Eight mana.
Come closer.
I don't bite.
You pay. I talk to spirits.
Yeah, this Twisted Fate is actually a little bit spooky here.
Trust is a weapon.
Should have attacked the other way around, but it's whatever.
You pay first.
You dare!
That egg, did it move?
We got in enough damage to the point where Doom Beast. Oh, wow! Definitely was not expecting that. Let's go with you.
Looks like I'm on a hot streak.
I like that black spear from Callista here.
Blue as the serpentine. All that glitters.
Triple Butcher as well. Okay. Jesus Christ, dude.
All or nothing.
It will all be over soon.
Trust is a weapon.
I'm gonna attack with Callista. So I can enable the Black Spear.
Our vengeance
Manifested and pure.
Lady Elise, where are you? Now, where was I?
For silver, I thought.
as the Serpentine.
A game. Go on then.
Watch the ball, folks. Hold it, partner. Lady Luck is smiling.
The problem is, pack your bags is a thing. They have played a total of 1, 2. They played a total of 2, so they need 2 more. Right? I'm not miscounting here. 1, 2. Okay, so this still should be the play. It sucks that we got the Doom Beast instead of the Frenzy Skitter. That's actually a pretty big deal. But I mean, ultimately, we still have the means to break through.
Eyes open.
Eyes open.
You have earned your fate.
This is outrage!
Oh, we got it! Got it, baby! Whoo! Alright. The harrowing just beat the harrowing. Arguably, this wasn't the right play, by the way. I should have attacked with you. Because my opponent made a misplay. And I made a misplay, right? So I made a misplay, my opponent did not punish me for that misplay. I should have attacked with the Doom Beast because by resurrecting, like, I don't care about Callista taking damage or not at that point. And if my opponent blocks into Callista with a 3-attack unit, they can destroy the other the other attacker, right? So my attack actually becomes weaker if I use Callista there. So I should have gone for the Doom Beast instead. Yeah, hindsight is 2020, but this is like a very clear misplay that I didn't realize initially. Very interesting take on Twisted Fate Go Hard. They did, you know, they didn't draw Go Hard super early on. No Zap Strafen for my opponent, which I think is also a big mistake, as they are. I don't know if I go I don't think Phantom Prankster and Neverglade Collector is the way to go with that, though. I'm a big fan of the Callista take, and there's some really cool synergies there, but I just don't really know. I don't think, maybe Neverglade Collector, but I don't think that's a deck for Phantom Prankster. But maybe I could be wrong. Having that said, you know, we're at 36 minutes. Let's go for a final one. And of course, we're gonna end it off with a mirror match. I mean, this is to be expected. This deck is becoming very popular. I figured I would showcase it on the channel, but better to do it now than a few days from now, where like it's absolutely everywhere. And you know, I mean, some people don't mind that, right? I hate mirror matches. Like, definitely something that I try to avoid in card games. I'm gonna keep the Stygian Onlooker, I believe. No, I'm gonna drop you. I'm gonna keep Callista. I'm gonna drop everything else.
I know what lurks in the shadows.
I'm gonna play ELISE because unless they have an Arachnoid Horror,
Come closer.
I don't bite. I get a free attack here with ELISE. This Spiderling, you know, my opponent can block into it if he wants to, but that also weakens.
Stay a while. So young.
Weakens his ELISE. It's not really super relevant ultimately, but because I'm gonna end up doing the same thing, even though they could potentially drop a Playo Cascade on me. But unless they do something beforehand, like a Stalking Shadows or develop a 2-drop, then
They grow up so fast.
only revenge. I'm gonna develop Callista. If they attack with both, that leads me to believe that they have a Playo Cascade. Even though I don't know if you want a Playo Cascade here at all. My question is, how much do I like this Frenzy Skitter? Frenzy Skitter can easily be countered by Frenzy Skitter, so I'm gonna pass. It's 2 mana gone, 4 mana left. I'm not gonna skitter this turn. I'm gonna develop Skitter in response to theirs. As they attack with double. Yeah, that's surprising. I'm gonna play another Skitter. You know, counter into counter. Two Skitters down for each player means only one remains for each. You know, this mirror is a little bit tricky in that sense because Skitter is kind of like, not only do they counter the opposing, they also like, they boost your own spiders, right? So it's like, the effect is quite simply inverted. Or reverted. I'm going to Black Spear here. This prevents the ELISE level up, which is otherwise very, very threatening. I want to keep this Risen Mist as a surprise factor. That's why I'm not opting to go for it. I want to use it defensively. I can, you know, get not one but two Fearsome blockers in there. All right, let's go with you. And I mean, ultimately, I don't know why I mean, this allows me to go for a level up though. Let's go with this.
Now you've gone and upset it.
Unless he's main decking Black Spear.
We shall not rest until all betrayers begin.
Consider an attack with that. I think I gotta.
Patience has burned long enough. Act now.
Can we afford all this damage? I mean, we're gonna be getting it back in a way. We also don't want to block into that many. If we block with one more, we lose the level up, so. Oh, I just played the ephemeral one. Oh, but all calculated, baby. Oh, that's actually perfect. Double level up. We took all that damage. We took all that damage for the level up, as we are now going to be doing this. We're gonna attack you here. No, in fact, you here.
Is a weapon.
What is that? It's the Doom Beast?
There is yet to do.
Doom Beast. We could see a Risen Mist from the opponent. Or that's fine. We prevent their Callista level up, which is really, really important. Because we managed to level up both of our champions and our opponent hasn't, that really gives us an upper hand here. Obviously, we gotta take harrowing into account for next turn. The best we can do here is just spread out. Okay, so they're gonna draw a Pale Cascade, good to know. Double missed call is really nice, but we definitely should expect the harrowing here. That's a problem. No, not that big of a problem, I think. We'll see. I mean, that's not exactly how it's gonna show, right? Okay, so it's only one, which is good enough. I think, we're definitely gonna be playing the Arachnoid Horror here. Can you imagine they had another Skitter? That kind of like just wins them the game on its own. I'm surprised. Okay. We can't lose to a random atrocity. Like, we have to respect atrocity. That can always be like an addition, right? That people make. So we gotta keep that in mind. First of all, let's make use of our non-fearsome blockers to block into those. I want to preserve you. We 100% want to be blocking into you. And you. This is gonna level up, so it's gonna get us. It's gonna hit us for 5, but as long as we clear that, we're good. Yeah, these two navigate around Pale Cascade really well. We still cannot afford. We survive Pale Cascade. We survive a lot of shit. Actually, I forgot about Mark of the Isles. I forgot about Mark of the Owls. Pale Cascade plus Mark of the Owls can kill us. Ah, God. I knew I was forgetting something. Ah, man. Am I gonna get punished? Oh, man. I could totally have been punished there. I want to wait for them to develop something so I can Black Spirit. We live on 1, but we pack this Risen Mist here. We make use of our mana. We get back to Wraith Caller, getting another Mist Wraith in there to pump up ours. And we got him, baby! Calculated! There we go. She really likes silks and strands. I don't know why, but I honestly don't really care. We are, I was gonna say, we made a huge misplay because the combination of Pale Cascade and Mark of the Owls would have killed us there. I also don't believe we ultimately needed the ELISE body. You know, for that, because Callista plus double Mist Wraith with Wraith Caller Resurrection was pretty much all that we needed at that point. We survived the harrowing, which, you know, is easier said than done. And I think we navigated, except for that mess up towards the end, which could have lost us the game. I think we navigated that mirror really well. And overall, you know, I'm not gonna go ahead and say we deserve to win because we made a big punt towards the end there, but fuck it, we did. Just gonna leave it there. Alright, so this is Czechia Fearsome, ladies and gentlemen. This is one of the most strongest, or one of the strongest English decks in the meta right now, if not the strongest. Definitely expect to see this a lot in the incoming days as it'll get more and more popular. So, you know, start devising potential counterattacks for it. I definitely will be doing that. And as soon as I got some good stuff in that regard, I will share them with you. And that's basically all I gotta say. Have a solid day. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for daily Legends of Runeterra content. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you tomorrow.